I'm speaking to you from my hotel room on Monday night, right after the conclusion of the JCK Las Vegas show. From my limited sampling, I would sum it up by saying that the mood was much more upbeat than most expected, and people had varying degrees of success, but I think success nonetheless. Jewelers seemed to be upbeat and cautiously optimistic about the future. As I said, this is far from a scientific survey, and anyone who says that they are astute enough to capture the mood of the entire show cannot possibly be accurate. But I hope that one can extrapolate a general feeling from my limited sampling. The only absolute fact I do know is that we did have a good show ourselves, and therefore I assume most others did as well. But I would like to move on to the purpose of this post, and I'll try to keep it relatively short, as I would request that you listen to the whole thing and pass it along to your own networks, because I think it's quite important. The one thing that literally everyone, and I mean everyone, speaks about and agrees upon is that the natural diamond business is sorely lacking in the proper promotion and advertising of their product. There are many very reasonable reasons for this, but the reasons don't change the facts. We certainly lost the promotion and messaging battle to synthetics. And despite the Natural Diamond Council's best efforts, and God knows, David Kelly works his butt off for this, and there's simply not enough money available to make any meaningful impression to the public. Notwithstanding the fact that the love for diamonds has been encoded in human beings from time immemorial, even Coca-Cola, a company you would think would need no advertising, literally spends billions of dollars a year, billions with a B, advertising and promoting themselves. They don't do this because they like to throw out money, but rather because even the most well-known product on the face of the earth needs constant reinforcement. The model we, in our business, seem to have is that of passing around the hat for contributions in exchange for certain commercial benefits. And this has limited success and is simply not sustainable. The industry must create a system that is sustainable and perpetual. De Beers, who used to carry the lion's share, simply cannot do it anymore. They will certainly do their share, as they just announced, and as they support the Natural Diamond Council, yet this is simply not enough. I'd like to start this conversation and have as many people in our industry talk about it and almost beg for a solution to be implemented. After thinking long and hard about this, I've come up with two possible ideas. I believe we could all agree that everyone in the industry is willing to pay their fair share towards making this happen. You drive your car over the bridge, you pay a toll. You don't drive it, you don't pay the toll. Simple. So how can we do this? If one thinks about it, the funnel for most natural diamonds over a certain size is the GIA. The vast majority in dollar terms of all diamonds pass through the GIA's hands. If the industry agreed en masse to allow the GIA to collect a diamond education fee, name to be determined, for each and every diamond it grades, we can likely add up to $50 million in additional revenue dedicated to the proper marketing of natural diamonds. The details, of course, need to be worked out, but first, the concept needs to be adopted by the trade. I've had numerous discussions with the GIA on this topic, and there are some serious hurdles that must be overcome in order to make this happen and implement it. The details of which are not for this discussion, but suffice it to say that without a groundswell of support from the entire industry for this to happen, there's zero chance that it ever will. On the other hand, if the industry were to metaphorically beg the GIA to do this, or maybe not so metaphorically, the desire to work this out would be there, and this, with the support of the entire industry, it is my opinion that a plan could be created that would be viable, sustainable, and fair to everyone. The Natural Diamond Council would be, in my opinion, a natural partner for this endeavor. However, that is certainly not the only way that this can be structured. But the conversation must start, and people need to begin to think about it, discuss it, and bring a solution to fruition. The key is fair and equal sharing for this responsibility by all. I mentioned that there was a second idea I had, which actually was brought to me by my father, who was extremely insightful. I believe this idea was floated many years ago, and in all honesty, I'm not smart enough to know how to actually put it together or if it's even possible. But I'm sure there are plenty of smart people on this, listening to this, who are. If somehow the American industry were able to create a diamond office, like in other countries, and collect a small fee on each and every import of diamonds, we can amass quite a war chest for the purpose of promoting natural diamonds. This clearly would not be as effective as the first idea because it would be American only, but I think it's a great idea in concept. If anybody has any ideas how it actually could be implemented, please share. So I'm going to end by saying that I encourage you to pass this along to anyone you think would have an interest to hear it, and I welcome anyone reaching out to me by leaving a comment or emailing me at stuart@premiergem.com with either other ideas that I have not thought of or ideas on how to bring what I discussed here to fruition. I will also post this on our Premier Gem Instagram page to make it easier to share if that is what you would like to do. The way I see it, we have no choice. Something must be done. Money needs to be spent on generic marketing of natural diamonds, and we are the only ones who can make this happen. Thanks for listening.